Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to Pre-Heresy and Codices, where I look at one Space Marine Legion per ramble and give you my thoughts and opinions on what Codex or Codices would best represent them for a 40k army list, and then I give you some little tidbits in terms of maybe collecting that force. Now, in this edition, this chopping block is going to have the White Scars on it, and as you can see, the White Scars Legion and the White Scars chapter don't really have much in the way of differentiating different color schemes. I don't know what I was trying to say there. The color schemes are basically the same, and basically it is the same. The whole red marking is kind of an accent thing that I don't want to say has no rhyme or reason to it, but it's not just set. It has to be like in the picture you looked at on the hand or on the left leg or whatnot. It's not set like that. So the color scheme is basically the same. They're not out yet from forgeworld standpoint for the Horus Heresy books. The three books that are out as of this ramble, none of them have the White Scars in it. So we don't really know what the pelt on the shoulder peg might possibly further symbolize, and we don't really know if anything has a specific meaning to it that maybe is different from the post-heresy White Scars chapter. So with that being said, let's look at what Codex or Codices would best represent the White Scars. And here's another case where you have two options. The first option is the generic Space Marine Codex, utilizing the White Scars chapter tactics. That is probably pretty obvious. Nice thing about this setup is you can go pure biker if you wanted to, or you can go cosmopolitan, in which case you have bikes mixed in with infantry, mixed in with vehicles, and so on. Because remember, the White Scars, while we do classically kind of think of them as the biker army of the Space Marines, they're like a rapid strike type of deal. They don't solely fight on bikes. They have vehicles, they have regular infantry, so you can do that or the pure biker army. It's up to you. And while rambling, and studying that picture I showed you. And maybe the difference is it looks like they have like a silver backpack as opposed to having a backpack the same color as their armor. That might be the only real difference between pre and post heresy, and that's based on one piece of art. And anyways, yeah, back to the codices in question. The generic Space Marine Codex can work just fine. You have limitations, because we're talking about a pre-heresy legion, so no Land Raider Crusader or Redeemers, no Centurion squads, and I would also stay away from the Flyers. And the Legion of the Damned squad. Other than that, the Codex is open for you to utilize. Now, special character-wise, the only special character the White Scars Chapter Tactics has is Corsaro Khan, and he can be on foot or on a bike. Unfortunately, they don't make a biker model for him, so the on-foot model could work in a Pre-Heresy Legion force. He does have a Crux Terminatus on one of his shoulder pads, but you could just explain that away as a symbol of veteranship or whatnot. And then if you want to represent him on a bike, you get to make it up yourself, which is kind of cool because now you can really, pre-heresify a model even more so to represent Corsaro Khan on his unique bike. So, with that being said, you could do that, or you feel a generic HQ, it doesn't matter. But you have the option pure bike or a combination of bikes and infantry and vehicles and whatnot. The second codex, which I feel is equally adept representing the White Scars Legion, would have to do so representing purely a Space Marine biker army, and that's it. And that is the Dark Angels Codex fielded as a pure Ravenwing army. And I say pure Ravenwing army, so nothing, you have limitations right there already. Anything that's not Ravenwing, not usable. On top of that, further limitations: no Flyers, no Ravenwing Darkshroud or Ravenwing Landspeeder Vengeance. Outside of that, I think everything else works, including the Black Knights, and it's basically just bikers, speeders, Black Knights, command squad, and your HQ model, which, unless you're doing Unbound, would have to be Samael, which is cool because, unlike the Space Marine Codex, this army will feel different as a pure biker force compared to a generic Space Marine Codex biker force, and it'll be led by something different too. It won't be a Space Marine on a bike, it'll be a Space Marine on a jet bike or a land speeder. So you really have a different feel from HQ down to the way the whole army feels. So that's kind of neat, kind of cool, and something to consider as well. So those are your two options. Now, when it comes to collecting a White Scar's force, you have to keep the normal Horus Heresy limitations in mind, like I talked about in the introductory ramble. So no Mark 7 armor, specifically no Mark 7 helmets, and no Imperial Eagles on the chest plate or on the model elsewhere. But another thing to keep in mind with the White Scars, and to be honest, I'm not 100% sure if this is still part of their fluff, because I don't really remember the White Scar section of the Space Marine Codex too well. Still can't find it. But I do remember part of their fluff in the Index Astartes for the White Scars is that they do not maintain dreadnoughts necessarily. I do not know how true that is anymore, but I remember that being something that stuck out in my mind, because they were like the only Space Marine chapter who really didn't want to field dreadnoughts. They kind of viewed it as part of the whole thing of dying as a Space Marine. They kind of viewed it as at odds with that. So I could be incorrect. It could have changed, but that was a thing, and that may be something you seek to represent in your force if you want to. So, with that being said, other things to keep in mind when collecting your force is the Horus Heresy stuff from forgeworld is generic stuff. And another thing about that is it's very not White Scarry, which is not a bad thing. That's what generic means. I basically said the same thing twice because I had a complete brain shutdown. But the whole reason we don't have any White Scar specific stuff is because they haven't come out in a Horus Heresy forgeworld book yet. Once they do, we're going to get head upgrades and chest upgrades and probably a special unit for them as well, which will be all well and good. GW does have some stuff for them. They got the Corsaro Khan model. They have a White Scar biker upgrade kit for them, and that's all well and good. So you can kind of help personalize your force a bit that way. I would definitely recommend looking at more of the forgeworld stuff necessarily. While the regular Space Marine biker kit works fine for the bike, the dude riding it tends to have some type of winged chest plate, be it skull, which is usable, or a Imperial Eagle, which is not. So while I don't see a reason necessarily go purely with the forgeworld bikes, on the bike level, I feel more so that'd be a better option for the rider in terms of the model riding the bike. But yeah, I was paging through some fluff real quick, and from what I can tell, the White Scars really don't utilize, they do not employ dreadnoughts, and they don't possess Devastator squads. So things to keep in mind if you want to represent them with the generic Space Marine Codex. Other than that, not too much else to say about them. They will definitely be getting a redux in this series once the Horus Heresy forgeworld book comes out that has them in it, because that'll have more information I can talk about and more things in terms of collecting that force. Because right now it's pretty Spartan. It's just a paint job deal. So no Mark 7 helmets, no Imperial Eagle chest plates, and paint them up like White Scars and you're good to go. And that's basically that for them. So thanks for sticking through it. Again, this is definitely a Legion I will be doing a redux of. And basically, any Legion I go over that I do not mention something, or that I do not mention having a forgeworld counterpart for the Horus Heresy series right now, we'll be getting a redux once they do come out in a Horus Heresy forgeworld book. So, just keep that in mind. Anyways, that's it for the White Scars Legion. Up next will be the Space Wolves Legion, so stay tuned for that. And until next time, take it easy.